Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Belen and today I am going to talk about the TOEFL speaking section, one of the hardest sections of the TOEFL test. This is one of the most difficult parts because we don't really have anyone to help us and it is very difficult to improve on our own. So today I want to talk about the 10 TOEFL speaking mistakes that I used to make and that prevented me from getting 100 on my TOEFL score. First, I want to quickly explain you the structure of the TOEFL speaking section. TOEFL speaking section has 4 questions. The first one is an independent task. It means that you have to come up with your own ideas. For this question, you will listen to someone that has an accent, native accent, but British accent, New Zealand accent, or Australian accent. This is the only question where you will find an accent. For this question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your answer and 45 seconds to record. The second question of the TOEFL test is usually about a campus situation. You will read something about the newspaper and then you will listen to an opinion. After that, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your answer and 60 seconds to record. This question is an integrated task. It means that you are gonna have to use your reading, listening, and speaking skills in order to answer the question. You will have 20 seconds to prepare your answer and 60 seconds to record. The third question is about a concept and an example. You will read a concept and the professor or someone will give an example of that concept. For this question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your answer and 60 seconds to record. For the fourth question of the TOEFL test, you will have a lecture. For example, the professor will give you a concept and 2 examples, and you will have to only listen to the professor. You won't have to read, and you will also have 30 seconds to prepare your answer and 60 seconds to record. Without further ado, let's move on. First, I want also give you a tip that really helped me to improve my TOEFL test. You should understand how the TOEFL is scored and what the raters are looking for. For example, I didn't know that the raters are looking for delivery. What I mean with delivery, it is about your pronunciation, intonation, and how well you communicate your ideas. The other thing they are looking for is language use. It can be very difficult because you usually tend to use complex vocabulary, but the truth is that they are looking for someone that knows how to use basic things. And the final thing that they are looking for is topic development. I used to have this mistake because I never developed my topic very well. I didn't provide enough details about my answer, and that was my mistake. So this is very important to notice that you should know what the raters are looking for. So without further ado, let's move on. The first mistake is that the students don't practice improvisation. It is very difficult to come up with ideas if you don't practice improvisation. I advise you to do a list of topics or a pool of topics to answer at least one TOEFL question every day. For this, you should improvise for at least 45 seconds without stopping. This will help you to come up with ideas quickly and to keep a clear and fluid conversation. If you don't prepare, if you don't improvise, you will probably slow down everything. It happened to me. I didn't practice improvisation when I took my first TOEFL, and when I had the question, I didn't know what to say. I took a long time to come up with ideas. However, for my second TOEFL, like I said in my other video, I knew what to answer. I knew how to prepare an answer, even though I didn't have experience with the topic they were asking. Make sure you answer why and also provide example and details. Improvisation is not about coming up with random ideas. You have to have a structure and answer the questions correctly. The second mistake the students make is that they don't plan ahead and they don't write down their thoughts. I didn't write down anything on the first time, and then I had ideas in my mind, but I was so nervous that I forgot. You have to write key ideas. For example, something that it's gonna remember you an example. If you have a question that talks about why students should attend the university and why should not, you should write key ideas. My first reason will say because it provides them a better career, so I will write down career. They also have probability to earn more money, so I will write down money, and also I will write down a keyword for my example. If I do that, I won't forget what I am talking about, I won't slow down when I am speaking, and I will be prepared to keep a good conversation. One mistake is that the students don't record themselves. I used to do that because I was lazy to record myself. If we record ourselves and then we listen carefully, we will realize that we are doing silly mistakes, but those mistakes can be crucial to get less points. If you record yourself, you will be able to send that recording to a friend, to a native speaker friend that will catch your mistakes and provide you feedback about what you are doing wrong. I will do lots of things wrong. I will do silly mistakes. For example, instead of saying people are, I will say people is. I didn't realize that. I will also pause where I'm not supposed to pause, and that made my speech very difficult to understand. When I provide my recording to my professor, he will tell me my grammar mistakes or also my vocabulary mistakes, and that was very helpful. If you record yourself, you will also have the option to realize if you are talking like a recording. I mean, sometimes we speak like la 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 without emotions, and that is very bad for us because the grader will think that we memorize the example, and as a result it will hurt our score. We tend to say the first reason is, the second reason is. You have to put emotion, what you are doing, emotion to your answer, so you may sound more natural. The fourth mistake is that we don't ask anyone to check our speaking. This is such a huge mistake. It is difficult for us to tell our speaking mistakes, especially if we haven't talked English our whole life. I know I have an accent, I have a Spanish accent, and if I ask someone that speaks Spanish to check my speaking, this person will probably understand everything I am saying. But if I ask someone that speaks another language or someone that is a native speaker, this person will really tell me what my mistakes are and where I should improve. That is such a crucial thing, because the person that is gonna rate your speaking will not speak your same language. If you ask a friend to check your speaking, you will also realize mistakes that are related to your accent. For example, I used to say students instead of students. A fifth mistake is that students try to use over-complex vocabulary. It is true that you should not repeat the same word over and over and over, but you should not use vocabulary you're not comfortable with or you don't know how to use. You should be 100% sure about the words you are using. For example, in Spanish, we use the word caprichos, and it is very common to use that word. However, in English, it is not very common to use that word among native speakers, and using that word in an English sentence is very difficult. If we use that word in the TOEFL speaking, the rater will realize that this word is not common and that we don't know how to use that word. As a result, our score will decrease. The sixth mistake is that we don't usually learn templates. Templates will help us to organize our ideas and to know what we are looking for. Well, templates are the sentence, the structure we check in order to provide a good answer. For example, a template for the independent task or the first question will be repeat the question and say, this is true because of two reasons. The first reason is, we provide the reason, and then we say, for example, and we provide example. The second reason is, we provide the reason and we provide the example. This is a simple template that will help you to organize your thoughts. A common mistake that I see when people learn those kind of templates is that the templates hold them back. What do I mean with that? It used to happen to me. I used to think that because I didn't say what the template was telling me to say, I was wrong, and I will make pauses and start to repeat what the template said again, and that just hurt my score. For the second TOEFL, I realized that the plates were holding me back. I learned them because I wanted to have a structure of the test, but it is not important to memorize them. It's not important to say them. If you think that the answer may look better using another kind of words or using a different sentence, it may be okay for you because you will sound more natural and you will not stop to repeat what you're supposed to say. The seventh mistake is that students don't take notes. Here you have to be very careful because if you don't take notes, you will probably forget what the reading was saying or what the listening was saying. You may forget important details that you're supposed to answer. A mistake that I usually see when we write down things is that we focus on writing down too much. For example, we don't focus on understanding what they are saying, but we focus on writing, and that is a huge mistake as well. We should write down, but we should write down key ideas, and key ideas that will help us to come up with our answers. If you practice TOEFL questions every day, you will later be very familiar with the structure of all the questions, and it will be very easy for you to identify the ideas and example and the important details. So make sure you practice TOEFL speaking questions every day. The eighth mistake is that we don't use the preparation time properly. It is very important to not continue writing during the preparation time because we will be losing the time that we have to prepare our answer. For example, I used to make that mistake and I will say, oh, I will forget what the speaker said at the end, so I will continue writing, and when I will finish, I will have to speak immediately and I wasn't prepared, and as a result, everything was a mess. You can use the preparation time to have an idea of what you are going to answer and to prepare your answer in your mind, and also to understand the question very well. The ninth mistake students are making is that they speak too quickly or too slow. I used to make that mistake. I thought that if I speak quickly, I will provide more details, I will provide more examples, and as a result, I will get a better answer. However, I didn't realize that if I speak too quickly and I have an accent, the writer won't be able to understand. He will make an effort to understand me, and that will hurt my score. The 10th mistake is that the students don't practice using a stopwatch. This is such a huge mistake because if we practice answering questions and we take about 2 minutes, we won't really practice TOEFL questions because we won't be prepared to answer questions quickly. As a result, our score will decrease. So every time you practice, you make sure you use a stopwatch. In addition to that, practice giving advices, especially for the fourth question. And don't only practice about what you are doing or how you are, because TOEFL question is not gonna ask you that. TOEFL question is gonna be about advices, and then it's gonna be about academic topics. It's not very popular to talk about academic topics with your friends, but if you have a native speaker, you should ask that person to talk about biology, or at least to listen to your answers and see what your mistakes are and try to fix them. Don't forget to always fix your mistakes. If this video was helpful for you, please give it a like and subscribe. I really hope you find it very helpful, and I wish you the best luck on your TOEFL test. Everything is possible, you can do it. Bye.